Hi students, welcome to HSC Earth and Environmental Science and Module 8 on Resource Management. This is video 16 and the first in our final series of videos for this particular module, and we're going to be talking a little bit about sustainability. So as I mentioned, this is inquiry question number 3, and it's the third little component of our study of resource management. We want to have a look in this video at some different types of definitions of sustainability and why it actually matters how we define this word. The question itself is around how humans can manage the Earth's natural resources sustainably. So we've done a lot of talking about this already. There's lots of areas that you have covered in your Earth and Environmental HSC course that have already provided you with a lot of the material to help you answer this particular question in a general sense. But what we're going to do is have a look at a couple of key areas where sustainability is really important, and to see if we can't focus in on some of those key arguments. The purpose of this particular video and of this area of the syllabus is that you can investigate different definitions of sustainability and the rationales that underpin those definitions. So in this final section, we're going to have a look at sustainability. We're going to see if there are different types of definitions and why different groups of people might define sustainability different ways, and to see if there's a type or an area of sustainability that we can focus on that might be useful for our purposes. Sustainability does have a range of different types of perspectives depending on the sorts of people that are talking about sustainability. An irrigator that perhaps is living alongside a major river system might describe sustainability of water flow in a local river in terms of the maximum amount of water that could be drawn from the river without it running dry. The irrigator's focus on sustainability is really personal sustainability, making sure that they are able to access natural resources as and when they need them. On the other hand, an environmentalist that works on the river systems looking at the ecology of the river communities might talk about the amount of water flow needed to maintain the river ecosystem in its current state. So here we already have a conflict in terms of sustainability of a natural waterway in terms of the types of viewpoints of the people who are looking at using or maintaining that particular resource. Of course, if we're going to go to definitions, we probably need to look at Wikipedia. And Wikipedia defines sustainability as the process of people maintaining change in a balanced environment in which the exploitation of resources, the direction of investments, the orientation of technological development, and institutional change are all in harmony and enhance both current and future potential to meet human needs and aspirations. Going to the Cambridge Dictionary, we have another definition of sustainability: the quality of being able to continue over a period of time, or the quality of causing little or no damage to the environment and therefore being able to continue for a long time. The key to defining sustainability is about rationale. Why are different people defining this word in different ways? Generally speaking, when we look at sustainability, we're looking at 3 key pillars. The key pillars are ecology or environment, economy or finance, and society. These 3 pillars are what sustain our definitions for sustainability. We need to understand the impact of any decisions on the environment and also on the complex ecology of ecosystems. On the economy, what are the financial implications? And on society. As society's populations continue to grow, we continue to look for more land, we continue to put an impact on the environment of the land that we're seeking, and also we're trying to put different values on that land. And this is another area where we can link back into society and look at some of the potential conflict between different cultures, especially in relation to how they view the land and their relationship to the land. And this is an important thing for us all to consider as we talk about sustainability in the context of these last few videos. The United Nations has certainly put their heads to this particular problem as well. There are 17 Sustainable Development Goals that are part of a shared vision of humanity, a social contract between the world's leaders and the people, and this was driven by the United Nations organization. When we look through something like this, it's very easy to see some of the things that are obviously very important for people all around the globe. Things like poverty, hunger, health, and education are many of the things that we take for granted in our country, but are not quite so easily accessible in many other parts of the world. Gender equality is something that we've been talking about. Number 6 on our list is access to clean water and sanitation. Now we're getting into this really key area of natural resources, what we're doing and how we're accessing and how we're maintaining levels of resource access for all people in all places. Affordable and clean energy, another link to the sorts of things that we were talking about in terms of our greenhouse gas commitment, our climate change commitment, and how we're trying to shift away from the use of fossil fuels for a lot of our energy generation into cleaner options. Decent work and economic growth. Finance has to be there, and that links into industry, innovation, and infrastructure. In a broad sense, we've talked about gender equality as number 5. Number 10 is reduced inequalities across a range of different categories, and there definitely are a number of these that continue to exist. Well, I won't go through all of these goals. I leave them here because they can be quite inspiring to think about how we might transform our world as we seek to provide these sorts of opportunities for people in all places. But these goals are 2015 goals, and we're now in 2022, and still we've got a long way to go. The important thing when we're talking about sustainability is to think about these. The 3 pillars are the environment, or let's call it the ecology, because we are looking at the relationships between the physical environment, the chemical environment, and the biological components in that environment. We're looking at the economy, and it makes these 2 words much easier to link together, the ecology and the economy. And I guess the broader one is society. So this is what we think about when we're linking each of these things together. We want to live within environmental limits. We want to respect the fact that we've got a mandate to work this earth, but also to care for it, to leave it to our children. To think about how societies continue to move forward into the future to meet the diverse needs of all people, all genders, all places, all races, and provide that opportunity for equal access to all of the things that many of us take for granted. To build sustainable economies that provide opportunities for people in all places to gain riches not only in a financial sense, but in a material sense, in a health sense, in a dietary sense. There are so many components to living a rich life, and that's not just to do with how much money you have. Good governance can link together all of these key things. The types of expressions of goals that different governments have, the way that they're going to plan to run their governments if they get into power or if they are in power, what they're actually doing to help redress some of these concerns can all contribute to significant improvements in sustainability down the track. And we need to also be advocates for science, the sound, responsible use of science, the importance of data, the importance of scientific evidence that helps to inform the decisions that we make around the climate, around the environment, around the relationships that we have with the living components around us, the plants and the animals, and their relationships to each other. And that, of course, includes things like introduced species and thinking about what sort of impact bringing species in from one place to another might have on the local species. So sustainability is a big issue. It's too much to cover in one video. So we're going to have to break it up into a few different videos in order to have a look at some different components of sustainability. But we'll do that very soon. Thanks for watching.